Welcome everyone to season 6, episode 15 of the Hall of Fame show. It's Kirk Buchner along with Evan Nolan. I sometimes I think maybe people have forgotten who you are. And
I know it's been a weird year. So you're going to see a lot more of me over the next 8 weeks. I know last time we did this, I think it was like the end of October. I had a big exam coming up, which I passed, by the way. I
yep.
can't make the official announcement yet. They have to give me I'm not allowed to do any of that until it comes up, but it was a very, very big exam and I passed it. So now I'm back on and we have a lot of Hall of Fame stuff to talk about. Not only the stuff behind me with my background here, which was going to go for another, 4 days, 5 days?
Another 4 days. This will probably go up in 2 days after we've recorded this. So you'll have like a day or two left to vote on the United States Athletic Hall of Fame. We were actually doing real prep on how we're going to present this next week. And there's still some spots in flux.
There are some spots very much in flux. Yeah,
very much in play.
We just, you guys know at home, we get updates about once a month. We don't want to be on it every single day. Last update we got was, I don't know, a week and a half ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And the contributors were like, first of all, we've had more votes for both coaches and contributors we've ever had. We've had more votes overall than we ever had. Like thousands of more votes than we've ever had before, which is awesome. But the contributors are super duper close as to, because only 5 of them getting in, and like numbers 1 and 2 are pretty set, but 3 through about 9 or 10, it all is going to depend on where we end up. Coaches a little bit less, I'd say 1 through 4 set, 5s maybe in flux. The athletes, not much has changed really that much. I think the top 25, we've only had like 3 or 4 people in the top 25 who aren't anymore. Pretty much 21 that 25 has been set for months at this point.
I'm excited. Well, I'm assuming that number 1 in athlete has stayed the same, and it looks like a bell to bell.
Yeah.
So we got our standing. That individual was at the top.
Yeah.
And
so we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's sort of safe to say, but it's a nice tribute of what it's all supposed to be, and it's fascinating to us how some people just all of a sudden get remembered, and in the case, it's not like there's any reason for it.
No, and particularly like coaches, like last year, Amos Alonso Stagg, very, very worthy of this, came out of like nowhere, got basically no support year 1, was in the Hall year 2. They'll put it this way: the leader for coaches this year is someone who I believe should be in our Hall of Fame. I don't think should be in our third class, and they're running away with it. But the other folks who are there some of them are just again from out of nowhere. When Frank Zamboni made it in year 2, like he came out of nowhere to get into the group. So you just absolutely never know where stuff comes from and who's going for what. So,
and we were always so worried that alphabetism was going to, because it's all in alphabetical order, and you think, well, are people going to lose patience to cast those votes? And well, Zamboni sort of proved that incorrect.
Right. Yeah,
and it's really fascinating because it's not like we make people take a poll after you did the vote. Why don't we do this? Maybe we should. Actually, no, we shouldn't do that because we try to make this as easy as possible.
Exactly. I will say one other place, here's my transition. You ready for this one? One other place where we don't have to worry about alphabetism is the Pro Football Hall of Fame semifinalists. There's like a page and a half of W's.
The W's certainly ran away with it, and congratulations are in order. I think the powers that be have sort of realized, and all Evan Nolan had to say is, with Kevin Williams, what are we doing here?
Yeah, what are we doing? So the semifinalists, again, they're going to be voting on the finalists coming up. I think for the seniors and for the coaches contributors, that's happening like Tuesday of next week, somewhere around the 2nd, if I remember correctly.
And Evan and I plan to sort of like not live react to it, but we're going to record that day because now that Evan's schedule sort of cleared back up, he can sort of bring me back in his life, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, I've missed you, man.
But I don't blame you. I'm a warm and tender lover.
Yeah, Yeah. So we have the seniors and stuff are happening on the second. The rest of it, I think, if from what I'm understanding, is somewhere I've seen both the 9th and the 15th for that, with the announcement coming the first week of January for who the 15 finalists are for the hall. Um, but we have 26. I know we're not going through this a lot because I know you have two other shows coming up, but just a couple things I would say. We have 26 names of people who've made the semifinalist list. That should be cut to either 15 or 16, four of whom we know already because of the way they're doing things this year, which is Willie Anderson, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri, who were the four people in the final seven last year who didn't get in. But the names are here for the first time. Drew Brees, I think we're all expecting him to get in. We're expecting to go to Canton for his induction. It's your team, the Saints. I mean, the best player in the history of your franchise.
Yep, not even close.
I mean, forgiveness to Ricky Jackson and a few others, but it's Drew Brees. So Brees is here as a first ballot. Larry Fitzgerald, who we expect to get in, is here as a first ballot. We have Frank Gore, Philip Rivers, and Jason Witten all here on their first bite of the apple. But more excitingly for me, you mentioned it earlier, Kevin Williams, who I never understood how he never even made the semifinalist list, is here for the first time. And also in his 19th year of eligibility, it's the first time we see Lomas Brown get this far, which is also nice to see. I don't think Lomas is going to make it to the finals, but it's nice to see him at least show up on somebody's radar here.
I wonder how much Barry Sanders had to do with that. He's been very vocal about that, and Barry doesn't get vocal about much.
No, he does not.
So that's sort of I guess when you're choosing your words carefully, people are more likely to listen.
Mm-hmm.
With Kevin Williams, it would not surprise me if all of a sudden he goes from semi to final.
I agree with you on that one.
Because you can't vote on someone who's not there.
Correct.
And now it's a little bit different here because that's that voting body that's going to make who's going to decide, or they're deciding here at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'll be an interesting person for them to put in that room.
And it's interesting because there aren't that many defensive players. You have 26 players. I think 17 of them are on offense.
Right.
And I know Kuechly, we already know, will be in the room from that group, but no one else no one else is guaranteed a spot on the defensive side. I think we're both pretty sure that Terrell Suggs is going to be there.
I agree with
But
that.
once you get past Suggs, now we have Darren Woodson, who was been in the room before. We have Rodney Harrison, who's been in the room before. We have Robert Mathis, who's not been in the room, but's been circling around here for a little bit. And then you have just the two defensive linemen, or center defensive linemen, and Kevin Williams and Vince Wilfork, alphabetically next to each other in this list. So it'll be interesting to see if it's definitely going to be Wilfork against Williams. I think one of them is there and one of them is not, is what it's going to come down to. And Wilfork, neither of them have broken through to a finalist yet. As a Patriots fan, I will tell you, do I think that Vince Wilfork is a Pro Football Hall of Famer? 100% I do. Do I think he's as good as Kevin Williams? I do not. I think Kevin Williams has been my mountain that I've, my molehill I'm dying on for this whole thing. It's good to see him get this far. I think he'll stick here now and we'll see him get in. The problem that is, again, the system they had for last year and this year sucks. So we're going to have fewer people get in, which is going to cause a backlog, which may end up costing Wilfork and Williams and any number of other people the opportunity to get in. Richmond Webb, who we saw here again for the first time, friend of the show and friend of our hall, Richmond Webb, one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life, Richmond Webb. It's interesting. I'm glad to see those two through. The person who lost out, who's now forever into the senior pile here, is Ricky Waters, who I don't think we're that surprised about. But Waters never got a chance to even be discussed.
I was a little surprised that he didn't make this because usually you don't get cut once you make the semis. That's certainly possible. We've seen that with Tiki Barber. We've seen that with God damn it, his name's escaping me now. Played for the Buccaneers on the defensive side.
Simeon Rice.
Thank you. Yeah, semifinalist twice.
Yep.
It's rare that it happens, but it does happen. It's very rare that they're going to say, okay, year 20, we're not going to give you one last kick at the can.
Yeah.
For those unaware or just watching this maybe for the first time and may not be aware how this works, and believe us, there were some voters who weren't aware how it worked last year.
Don't get us started.
Yeah, well, exactly. This is year 2 of, I believe, a year 3 commitment.
I think this may be last year because they're going to end up with 4 or 5 people. They're going to have 4 people again, or 5 max, and people are going to get pissed.
I certainly think so. I think they might get a buffer if it's Drew, Larry, and then you get Belichick in. Then now you're filling that stadium.
Mm-hmm.
But for those unaware, Evan mentioned the final 7. Once you get to cut to that final 7, you've got to get 80%. And if you don't have at least 3, whoever finishes third gets through. Hence why we had only 3 moderns last year.
Yeah, either Eric Allen or, I mean, Antonio Gates, I'm sure got the 80% last year. Jared Allen and Eric Allen, I'm not sure either of them got 80%. We may have just had Gates and then the next 2 people.
Where I was going to go with this, if you and I, well, I shouldn't lump you into what I'm about to say, but I wonder if I was somebody who would get to decide to go from 25 to 15, how strategic am I being right now in my head? Now, when I'm looking in the offensive linemen, the 3 guys we have, you mentioned Lomas Brown, Richmond Webb. Now there's also Steve Wisniewski, who's here on year 20.
Year 20 last year.
I would be very tempted. Well, actually, I've got Wisniewski higher than some of the other guys anyway, but I would be
I think we both do.
Yes. But I would be very tempted to almost sort of put those 3 guys in over, or like for the next round, over Yanda, Jari Evans, Marshall Yanda, Jari Evans, and Willie Anderson.
Well, Willie Anderson's going to be there, though.
Oh, Willie, sorry. Then over the other 2. Not because I necessarily believe that those 3 are better. I think it bodes well for them for when they get to a senior pool.
If they've been in the room.
Right. And you will have to start thinking like that because the clogs are coming all back.
Yeah.
Wide receiver clog is never going to get better. It's been bad since I've started paying attention.
It's been bad since Art Monk.
Yeah.
That long ago.
And it's not going to get better.
No, because Fitzgerald's getting in this year, and I don't think there's going to be enough spots for Holt or Wayne. And so they're just going to continue to sit there. And your prediction that Hines Ward is a semifinalist for every single year without ever making the ballot, I think is very much in play.
I think so too. And it's not going to get any easier with who's coming up later and later.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the thing about Ricky Waters is I kind of feel like he lost his spot to Frank Gore.
I think so too.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I don't want to go any further in this because we have a bunch of stuff. It's good to see who got here. It's interesting who's not. They do have the problem, like you said, it's Wisniewski's last year, Lomas and Richmond Weber in year 19, so they got 1 year after this before they go into oblivion. But it's good to see at least that Lomas is getting a chance at a chance, which is not something he's had before. So
no, there was never any reason to think that he was.
Right.
There's no buzz around that. Offensive linemen are not necessarily the sexiest position. It seems like another prediction I made, I didn't want it to be true, which was the next center who gets in is Jason Kelsey. Well, Marquise Pouncey isn't here. And that's a damn good center.
Yeah, there are no centers at all. Nick Mangold, who we'll talk about later, is in here. So and Tom Nalen, who we all believe is a Hall of Famer. Jeff Saturday, he's not here either. Logan Mankins, who's been a semifinalist before on the offensive line, isn't here. So, I mean, we'll see exactly what happens, but it's an interesting group. There's a lot to happen here. I still think with the way if we get a class of 5, I'll be shocked with the way things are set up.
Yeah, and I think we'll be talking more about that next week and sort of, especially if who we think is going to advances.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that'll be super interesting. God, the Drem alone. Oh, Bill, I hope it's you, just so I can talk about it. But we'll move
Well,
on.
I mean, imagine if it's Bill and Robert Kraft as the two. I mean, that there's a legitimate shot. That's the situation.
Ah,
But
well,
here's the thing though. There's a lot of people think that the Giants rumors that we're hearing are a way of keeping Bill out. That because they don't vote people in unless they're sure they're done. And that if they think he's going to come back, that they won't do it. I don't believe it. I'm just telling you.
we're here now. We're here now. Do you think that someone would be that petty who may have already met Jordan Hudson?
Time out. Time out. You think that the press, who he has made work their ass off
That's not where I was going to go with this.
for a quarter of a century,
Yeah.
aren't going to find a reason not to vote for him?
Okay.
Come on. Between Jordan Hudson and like, oh, well, he may come back. So anyway, but
I don't think we'll be invited to that party though. If Belichick gets in, if an after party, I don't think we're going to be on Jordan's guest list.
who knows? You never know.
Better distance yourself from me. Because some of the other shows I've done then.
Understood. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Well,
so yeah, we got a couple other Hall of Fames though.
Yeah, you are already one up on me because we had our little draft, and I yeah.
Yes, yeah. So we had well, I'm up one up, but so we had our draft a few episodes ago for those who aren't looking. We're predicting who's going to get into several halls coming in.
Yeah.
So it was 2 basketball, 2 baseball, 1 hockey, 3 football, 4 rock hall, 2 wild cards from those halls, 2 from random halls of fame. And then we each got a captain at the end. He's Pete Rose and I got Patty LaBelle. But we were trying to predict out of the 17 people. And I ended up with the first point. I also lost 2 other ones. We'll talk about that in a second. But I ended up with the first point for the Tennis Hall of Fame. Made their announcement. Now, you'd pick Serena Williams. I told you at the time I wasn't sure that she was actually eligible yet because there was some question about it. Turns out the Hall, and I said it's entirely possible they didn't need her this year, so why not use it for next year? Instead, they went with the person who was eligible this year, some guy from Switzerland, named Roger Federer.
You warned me, but yeah. Well, about a slam dunk as you can get in any Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What needs to be said? First man to 20 Grand Slams, superstar the world over. There's nothing more needs to be said.
Yeah.
So dominant that I didn't and I apologize to the other individual. I believe it's a journalist.
It's Mary Carrillo.
Okay, thank you. But there's no reason to even usually they have like at least 3. I mean, there was no point to even sort of like do that. Yes, the Tennis Hall of Fame is not that hard to get into if you look at accolades and some of the people who got in relatively easy. One that sort of springs to mind was had a great career, but she probably snorted a lot of it away. She'll tell you she didn't perform up to her best. Jennifer Capriati. And when you look at her overall body of work, is that a Hall of Fame? Well, no, but in tennis it is.
Yeah.
So either way, I shouldn't have even brought that up because there's no reason to take anything away from Roger Federer, but it'll draw very well. He deserves to sort of go in with all the spotlight. I kind of feel bad for the other individual who, again, you just told me her name. I forgot it again.
Well, Mary Carrillo, you don't follow tennis.
I've not tennis journalism. No.
Yeah. So Mary Carrillo is like one of the main broadcasters of tennis for all the major tournaments. So it'd be the same, like one of the people who was under consideration for Pro Football Hall of Fame contributors category who didn't make it in was Howard Cosell. She's kind of a Howard Cosell type figure in tennis at this point. Mary Carrillo's on everything. She was a player. She didn't win a Grand Slam title in mixed doubles in Wimbledon. She was a professional player for about 4 or 5 years. Like somewhere around 77 to like 81, 82 ish. But she's been one of the voices of tennis for a long time. So this is one of those ones like
Yeah.
she's not an afterthought. People are going to be happy for her and that she's there and everything. And it's kind of cool that she gets to be there. She's 68. She's been doing this for a long time. She absolutely deserves to be there. But obviously Federer is the highlight. So
that's another induction party I won't be invited to, is Mary Carrillo's.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have 1 point for Roger Federer, so I'm 1 of 15. I unfortunately lost out on Kenny Lofton because he did not get one of the senior ones. And you lost Serena Williams, so you have 0 in, 16 remaining. I have Federer in with 14 remaining because another Hall of Fame made their announcement, and that is the Toy Hall of Fame. I had picked the slide because the swings are in and everything else. The slide, unfortunately, was not one of even the finalists for this. So the finalists for this, just so by the way, before we go in, I know you didn't read this. I'll do them in alphabetical order. You tell me who you think got in. How's that sound?
Oh, so you're gonna tell me the finalists and then who got in out of this?
I'll tell you the finalists, and you guess three of these 12 got in.
Okay.
See if you can guess which ones.
Sure.
Okay, alphabetical order. The game Battleship on its 4th nomination.
Okay.
Catan or Settlers of Catan on its 3rd nomination.
Okay.
Connect 4 on its 2nd nomination.
Okay.
Cornhole on its 1st nomination.
Mm-hmm.
The Furby on its 1st nomination. The Scooter on its 3rd nomination. Slime on its 2nd nomination, like the slime the kids play with, you know?
Yeah, I remember that as a kid.
For its 1st nomination ever, what I thought was going to go to slide went to Snow. So Snow on its 1st nomination. The Spirograph, it's his 2nd nomination.
Yeah.
The Star Wars Lightsaber on its 1st nomination.
I had that.
Tickle Me Elmo on its 2nd nomination, and Trivial Pursuit being nominated surprisingly for the first time. So which of those 3 do you think? Which 3 of those 12?
Not knowing how they think, so I'm just going to tell you the ones that mean the most to me.
Sure.
Trivial Pursuit. I remember that in real time when that took over the 80s. And everyone sort of had that. I remember that at all sorts of games. I remember being a know-it-all and doing actually a lot better than a lot of the adults. Something I bet you were probably pretty good at too.
I did a lot of that as well, yes. And I will tell you, you are correct. Trivial Pursuit did get in on its first time on the ballot. So you're 1 for 3 so far.
All right. As silly as I think this sounds, I Snow. How much fun was Snow? I mean, like, I guess it depends on where you grew up. Growing up near the Toronto area, although I'm sure there's not nearly as much snow as I remember, but I remember making snow forts and all sorts of things. And when I was living in the Rockies, I don't know if you notice here, we've now framed that's Jasper's jersey.
Oh yeah,
yeah. His number is, you can see here, his number 23.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's sort of like part of. For those who don't know, Jasper was the official mascot here at NotInHallOfFame.com. He's since passed away. You can find his barking at many a show, and the clicking right now is Winnie, the new mascot. Winnie runs away from a lot of things, but anyway, I'm gonna go with like Snow. As silly as that sounds, my God, there's so much fun you could have with it. Even when we were living in Winnipeg, we went to a snow maze, and that was amazing.
There you go. It's a pun in there even. I will say 15% of Americans have never seen snow. I saw that the other day in real life. And apparently they're all the people who voted because snow was not one of the 3.
Okay. Well, then my third one, I'm just going to go something I've never played, but again, I know its cultural significance. I'm just going to go with Settlers of Catan because I know how big that is.
Sellers Catan also was not chosen. So
Okay.
uh, just by the way, when something gets to 4, generally it gets in.
Ah,
So Battleship.
I did play
Uh,
that.
so
Okay.
Battleship got in, and surprisingly to me, Slime. Battleship,
Okay.
Slime, and Trivial Pursuit are the three who got in.
So slime would have
Um,
been my last pick out of all of that.
I think the Furby would have been my last pick out of all of that. That's more terrifying than fun.
Truthfully, I don't know
Um,
what a Furby is, but I knew.
it's something that's not allowed in the Pentagon. It's this little thing like this that recorded something and would get it back, but they were banned from the Pentagon because they were recording devices for stuff that was happening.
I
So,
just remember thinking slime was disgusting. So,
my kids play with it all the freaking time.
uh,
So anyway, so those are your 3 inductees into the Toy Hall of Fame for 2025: Battleship, Slime, and Trivial Pursuit. So that is Toy Hall of Fame because you guys want to visit is at the Strong Museum in Rochester, New York. Another Hall of Fame on I-90. I-90 is the Hall of Fame highway. You get basketball, you get baseball, you get toy. I mean, honestly, sailing and boxing, boxing's on there. Sailing's not that far. Tennis isn't that far. Um, you get Canton's not that far from I-90.
mhm.
Um, you used to have the College Football Hall of Fame, but that moved to Atlanta. It used to be in South Bend. But there's so many halls of fame just there on I-90 between Boston and Chicago. So there you go.
So you
All
think
right.
something on I-90 is going to, hey, wait a minute, hold on. You're not far from I-90.
No, I'm not.
Not far from I-90. Wow. We're both associated with the United States Athletic Hall of Fame, which you can vote on at www.theusahof.com. You only have a couple more days. Get on that.
Yeah, technically, by the way, with the base of the our hall being my home address, I-90 is 3 miles that way. So we are also technically on I-90. So
Well, I mean, yeah, lesser thing on my business card, we're only a mile and a half away from I-90 where it starts.
yeah. Um,
There,
so one thing I do want to bring up, I know we have a whole bunch of deaths we're going to go through in a second, but I do want to, since we just talked about the Toy Hall of Fame, one death I do want to bring up. Uh, if they did people in the Toy Hall of Fame, one of the people we lost since we last did this was a man named Burt Meyer,
okay.
who passed away at the age of 99 years old.
And then they turned him into
Invented
slime.
and he invented Rock'em Sock'em Robots,
Ah,
Light Bright, and Mousetrap, amongst other things.
I had two of those three.
I have all of those three in my house right now. He's from Hinsdale, Illinois, not that far away. But yeah, Burt Meyer passed away at the age of 99. I just figured we should bring that up since we were talking about the Toy Hall of Fame.
Very good segue.
Uh, One last thing I do want to talk about before we go anything else,
Yeah.
just quickly on the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw, have you guys talked about the changes for the committee ballots, the rule changes?
Not in depth, no.
Okay, so if you haven't had the chance, Bradford Doolittle on ESPN wrote an article on the 21st, so that would have been last Thursday,
Mhm.
um, about the Baseball Hall of Fame contemporary ballots. The thing you have to know now is that they have a new rule that says
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We did
if
talk about
you
it.
don't get at least 5 votes,
Mhm.
you're off the ballot for next time, which I have no trouble with. If you come back on the ballot, don't get at least 5 votes again, you're gone forever. And people only get 3 votes total on this ballot. So the ballot that we have is Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Gary Sheffield, Jeff Kent, Dale Murphy, Carlos Delgado, Don Mattingly, and Fernando Valenzuela, who's here for the first time, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is first for Fernando.
yeah. So it is entirely possible to me that we have either Murphy, Kent, or Mattingly get in out of this one, that they just all go for that, and that the three steroid guys, Bonds, Clemens, and Sheffield, don't get in, and then 6 years from now, don't get in again, and it's just over.
And at the very least, they can be at peace with that.
Maybe.
From last interview that I saw about Bonds regarding that, I think he's coming more into terms that he's never going to get in. I don't know how much of that is him using bravado, but he's older. I mean, we all change when we get older.
Yeah.
But if that door is going to be closed, and I think, again, playing conspiracy theory guy, that wouldn't be something that they wouldn't mind, because I have said over and over, and I still maintain this. They changed it from 15 to 10 on the modern, like the writer's ballot, to get rid of these guys.
They did.
I'm positive of that. No one can tell me differently.
Well, people were complaining that there were too many people to vote for. So instead of allowing them to vote for more, they cut people the other way, which
And it's interesting too, because when we talk more in depth, and I'm hoping to get a group of people, of which Evan will be a part of, to talk deeper on these ballots. Uh, I mean, the top guy, who's a non-steroid guy, because you have A-Rod and Manny Ramirez on it, but the guy who is clean, although he had his other issues, that being Carlos Beltran.
yeah.
It's fascinating when I looked at some of the people who who survived these ballots, who never would have on some of those other clog ballots.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, put it this way, I think Pedroia gets in now.
I think, well, yeah,
Not this ballot, but the history of how things have gone. I think Dustin Pedroia, by the fact he stayed in with what 10% or whatever it was,
mm,
is going to end up a Hall of Famer in 10 years, which is not something, even as a Red Sox fan, he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory before he got injured. But then the last 3 years were a complete waste, right? But I think because of the steroid stuff and all the other things and people not voting for it, I think someone like that is going to end up sticking around and making it. So we'll
no,
see.
it's certainly very possible. We'll see how that goes. Next year, the not in Hall of Fame. I can't believe I'm going to do this too. The baseball revisited Hall of
Are you
Fame.
doing baseball revisited?
I'm going to do that one, yeah, because I don't have enough to do, Evan.
I know you don't. You really have been slacking recently.
Mm.
So that's why I never see you anymore. You're too busy, resting on your laurels. So anyway, all
Yeah.
right. Anything else that you want to hit?
Just quick congratulations. I'm kind of behind on some of these too, acknowledgments, but here in Seattle, Randy Johnson will be having his number retired next year. I thought that was a pretty nice little add-on accomplishment for the big unit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of good people having their phone numbers, their actual jersey numbers retired here this year. So it's nice when all that happens. So good, excellent. All right. I have some folks who have passed away. Should probably talk about.
Mhm.
I will say it's been a month, and while we haven't been paying attention, the Beige Mistress has claimed not one, not two, not three, but four victims from the Hungarian sports world.
Mm.
Gold medalist Tibor Shelko for men's basketball, gold medalist in the European Championships with Hungary, passed away at the age of 94. Yeno Hamori, a fencer who won gold in Melbourne, passed away at the age of 92. Geza Fayer, who won a uh, bronze European Championships in the discus, passed away at the age of 80. And Bella Nagy, an archer who participated in the 72 and 80 Summer Olympics, passed at the age of 82. You may say those are just guys who died of old age. Kirk and I know better. There is a secret serial killer working outside of Szeged in Hungary. I think
Yes,
that's the name.
absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, a few other people. There's a lot of folks here. I'm not going to do them all, but speaking of steroid stuff, I think we should talk about Victor Conti
Hmm.
passing away since we last talked at the age of 75.
Yeah, in the news for all the wrong reasons, unfortunately, but you know, if it wasn't him, it would have been someone else. You almost
Hmm.
say. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what more to sort of like say about that. I mean, PDs for me, I don't consider it this great evil per se.
Hmm.
I do when the sporting world all unite for that. So I'm against its usage. Saying that if you're going to do that on your own, I don't. I'm not wording myself very well because I forgot. I actually it's been so long since we talked about that and that he passed away. I
Hmm.
literally forgot all about him. But I what are those unfortunate figures? Can you tell the story of baseball without him? No.
You cannot. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, he had that book, Game of Shadows, Barry Bonds, Balco, and the steroid scandal that rocked professional sports. Um, that was written in 2006, but then he wrote a book in 2008, Balco, the straight dope on Barry Bonds, Marion, and what we can do to save sports, that Shane Mosley sued for defamation over. And then Mosley dropped his suit, but they never got published. Everyone got scared away
Mhm.
that they would be sued to hell if it actually got published. He was still working in supplements. He had a company called Scientific Nutrition for Advanced Conditioning,
Mhm.
known as Snack. Um, Boxer Zab Judah was one of the people for them. So still doing stuff. But yeah, just a incredibly important person in sports history
Yeah.
who was in the news all the time for about half a decade and just kind of quietly left scene, passed away of pancreatic cancer at the age of 75.
Mhm.
So another controversial person who passed away, I do just want to go through it quickly. Former Vice President Dick Cheney. He passed away at the age of 84. Kind of amazed to live that long. He seemed sick for like the last 25 years of his life. Um, so
Did not die of gunshot.
he did not.
Mhm.
But anyway, so he passed away at 84. I'm not going to make any other political statements other than that. Um, Also passing away, June Lockhart passed away at the age of
Oh,
100. Was a Christmas Carol, Meet Me in St. Louis. Probably best known as
Austin Space.
Lost in Space and Lassie, the mom from Lassie. Also on Petticoat Junction. One of the few remaining survivors of that golden age of Hollywood.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but she made it to 100 years old. She turned 100 in June and passed away. But yeah, she was in tons of movies. Films starring her first film was 1938 as Belinda Cratchit in A Christmas Carol. Her last was as Mindy the Owl, the voice of Mindy the Owl in Bonji Bear and the Kingdom of Rhythm in 2019. So that's a pretty long career. Um,
Yeah, I used to remember Lost in Space reruns. WUTV Buffalo. So I think I've seen
mhm.
like every one of those.
I never watched a ton of Lost in Space. I've seen way too much Lassie.
Never saw. I've
But
never seen the last episode.
yeah, so you and I are opposites. It was
Yeah.
just always on Nick at Night. Used to run Nick at you have like a daytime stuff and Lassie and Leave It to Beaver and both Mayberry RFD slash Andy Griffith show were
Mhm.
just constantly kind of on. Oh, Dennis the Menace with Jay North was the other one. Those four were just kind of always on. But yeah, hundreds a pretty good run for June Lockhart.
Yep.
Um, and the last celebrity I guess I'll bring up is uh, Diane Ladd. Uh, Passed away at the age of 89 since we last spoke. Uh, Alice doesn't live here anymore. Wild at Heart, Ramblin' Rose, she got Academy Award nominations for all of them. Um, yeah, just a very, very successful actor for a very, very long time.
Mhm.
So
She
she
won an
passed.
Oscar, you said?
She was nominated for three, but never won.
Oh, okay.
I think. Hold on, let me double check that right now.
I thought
Um,
she won for Alice, but I guess not.
no, she was nominated 74, 80,
Okay.
90, and 91. 74, she lost to Ingrid Bergman from Murder on the Orient Express.
Ah, okay.
So other she also losing out Talia Shire as Connie Corleone. Thank God she lost in that movie.
Yeah. Your
Valid.
tire was perfectly fine.
Uh,
You're
no,
thinking
that's true.
Sofia Coppola is what
I
you're.
think Sylvia Coppola. I apologize. That's true. Valentina Corsesi in Date for Night, and one of my favorite roles of anyone of all time, also nominated Best Supporting Actress that year, the late great Madeline Kahn as Lily von Stupp in Blazing Saddles. That was an Oscar-nominated role. I just want to point that out to everyone. Um, so, anyway, but yeah, Godspeed to Diane Ladd. Okay, we lost quite a few Hall of Famers since we've last spoken. Oh, get rid of that one. Um, and just some other folks in general. Let's just start with music. Some folks from music passed away. David Ball, half of Soft Cell from
Yeah, I
Tainted
think
Love.
so. Yeah.
He passed away at the age of 66. Tainted Love is a cover, which nobody ever knows.
I only
Um,
learned that a few years ago.
yeah, there's certain songs you're like, wait, that was a cover. What's the one I other heard that didn't know it was a cover to the original one? Ian Drury's version of what is it? Once Bitten, Twice Shy. And I was like, wait a second. Yes, Ian Drury and the Blockheads originally. And I was like, wait, Ian Drury sings a song? Yeah. But yeah, David Ball was only 66, had been poor health for several years. Didn't say what he passed from, but Godspeed to David Ball. Also passed away is a lot. You heard about this. Cleto Escobedo III, the band leader for Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Kimmel's best friend growing up. His dad was actually also in Jimmy Kimmel's band. Passed away at the age of 59. He died of cardiogenic shock from complications of a liver transplant.
Mm.
He had cirrhosis, as among other things. But yeah, he passed away at the age of 59. Also passing away, one of the great jazz drummers, Jack DeJohnette, passed away at the age of 83. Played with all Sonny Rollins, Alice Coltrane, Herbie Hancock, Bill Evans, all sorts of folks. But he was 83 years old. Uh, Member of the, which Hall of Fame is she in? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a member of the Grateful Dead and the Alabama Music Hall of Fame, Donna Jean Thatcher, better known as Donna Jean Godshaw, uh, who performed with Jerry Garcia Band as well. She's a member of the Grateful Dead from 72 to 79. She passed away in hospice from cancer at the age of 78. Pass on him for now. Also passing away, Jelly Bean Johnson. He passed away at the age of 69. Was part of the family, but yeah, also part of Flight Time and a few other things. But he was 69 years old. But the biggest name we lost in music, Jimmy Cliff, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer,
Mhm.
passed away at the age of 81. I think we're all sort of surprised that Jimmy Cliff got in to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not because he wasn't worthy, but because I didn't think they were going to go for another reggae person ever.
Oh, totally, totally.
And Cliff was 100% deserving, and it was so surprising when he got in there. But like, the harder they come, Reggae Night, um, Many Rivers to Cross, uh, all sorts of things. Um, he passed away at the age of 81. Um,
Yeah, absolute legend.
yeah, he died of pneumonia.
Yeah, always in which is weird that he's always sort of in Bob Marley's shadow when they're so different.
They're very different, but
Yeah,
they're both reggae artists. And
enough said.
as we know about the rock hall, sometimes they have a difficulty telling non-white people apart. So,
See, I got the opposite problem. I think we all look alike.
yeah, possible. From hockey, Hockey Hall of Famer Larry Brooks, the journalist for New York Post, covered New
Yep.
York Rangers for many, many years. He passed away of cancer at the age of 75. Also from hockey, number one pick in 1975 by the Philadelphia Flyers and the fourth overall pick in the
Wow.
WHA draft by the Denver Spurs, Mel Bridgman,
Oh, Bridgman, yeah.
passed away
Um,
at the age of 70.
yeah, I wound up having a good career. He had a bit of a label. I guess a bit of as a bust in some circles.
Hmm.
You're drafted number one, especially in hockey. Not there's a certain expectation on you. Bridgman did have a fine career. I think I could be mistaken on this. I think he was the Ottawa Senators' first GM.
I think he was.
He was okay, yeah, but no, I mean Bridgman was certainly a fine hockey player. Probably would have been held in higher regard if he was drafted 10 spots later. Truth be told,
That's entirely true.
yeah.
I absolutely agree with that. But yeah, Bridgman was 75 years old.
Mhm.
Moving to basketball, Michael Ray Richardson, man,
Yeah.
one of the people who, how do I put this?
I mean,
First ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest players whose life was just absolutely destroyed by drugs and drug usage.
basically, he's Dave Parker without the eventual accolade.
It's exactly right. That's
Yeah,
a really good way of saying it.
he will. Oh man, some of the I went somehow I wound up. I think it was like 4 years ago on a Michael Ray Richardson rabbit hole.
Hmm.
I don't remember why. Because there was a Canadian basketball, still is a Canadian basketball league, and for
Hmm.
whatever reason, I just thought I'm just gonna see, do I know anybody here? And sure enough, he was coaching one of the teams. It's like,
Huh.
oh crap, Michael Ray Richardson, and
The London Lightning.
I think it might have been London, Kitchener. I don't know. Was it London?
His coaching, he coached the Albany Patroons, the Oklahoma Lawton, Fort Sill Cavalry, and the London Lightning. So
Okay, it's got to be London. Yeah, because I knew it was in Ontario. Yeah, the other London kids.
Hmm.
I mean, like the only people from Ontario, Canada. When people say, "Oh, yeah, we're going to London," oh, which London?
Yeah.
We actually do. Seriously, it's
Do you think people in Texas do that with Paris?
no. Well, maybe in a certain proximity,
Yeah.
but actually not far from London, Ontario is Paris, Ontario.
Mm.
So,
In Massachusetts, Florida's borders Peru. So, um,
but yeah, Michael, it was there was a couple of the local articles that I sought out to find, and no one knows more about who hurt his career more than Michael Ray Richardson did.
absolutely.
And the fact that he was still, when it was all said and done, making, albeit a modest income in the sport that he loved, it warmed the heart a bit.
Up until 85, though, like
Hmm.
four-time NBA All-Star, two-time defensive all defensive first team, three-time steal leader, the assist leader, the NBA comeback player of the year in 85. He was coming back from a drug issue.
Mhm.
Like from 80 to 85, there were very few people as good in the NBA as Michael Ray Richardson
And loved. I
and
mean,
Love.
he had that style of play that you couldn't take your eyes off him. He played in a big market at a time when you didn't really get to see a whole lot of teams, but the Knicks were one of them.
Hmm.
So a lot of people saw a lot more of Michael Ray Richardson than maybe a Clyde Drexler. Although it doesn't quite overlap, but
Hmm.
there's somebody else I was trying to think of. But Michael Ray, he was a big star. Maybe things would have been different if he wasn't as big a star, if he wasn't in New York. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know, you guys just traded for Sonny Gray, the
we
Red
did.
Sox, and not that not that I'm trying to say Sonny Gray is a drug user by any stretch, but when the lights are brightest, Sonny does not like it.
Hmm. Which
So
is why I was very underwhelmed by. I mean, we didn't give up. We did give up the all baseball first name player of Dick Fitz in that trade.
yeah.
Um, but I was not that excited about that move. So, but back to Michael Ray Richardson, uh, traded from the New York Knicks in '82. Do you remember who for?
No.
Bernard King.
Oh, okay.
So he's traded for Bernard King, went to the Golden State Warriors for only 33 games. Although in one of those games, he almost had a triple double with 10 points, 11 assists, and 9 steals. the points, assists, steals is not a normal triple double that you see. They got traded New Jersey Nets, where he had 24 points and 6 steals in knocking out the defending champion 76ers and Dr. J. He was also the last player to wear Converse All Stars in the league.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but he was banned for life in February of '86 after testing positive for cocaine for a third time in 3 seasons. So becoming the first active NBA player ever to be banned from the league, although he regained the right in '88, but never played in the NBA again. So
Yeah, because he went to Europe, I believe.
he did.
Yeah, for a few years after that. Uh, the fact that you're living that type of lifestyle and you were able to sort of make amends on, which I assume he did, based on the articles I read. I hope that he did. Finding some kind of peace, and again, finding a living in basketball.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't sort of do that, and
yeah,
a
but
cautionary tale for sure.
NBA all first team of guys who destroyed their career with drug use, without a doubt. It's the
Yeah.
starting point guard on that team.
Mhm.
Godspeed, Michael Ray Richardson died at the age of 70. Passing at only the age of 54, Rodney Rogers,
Mm, yeah.
former Celtic, among other things, Nuggets, Clippers, Suns, Nets, Hornets, 76ers, sixth man of the year in 2000, ACC player of the year back in 93. Wake Forest retired his number in 54. But yeah, had a terrible accident on a bike on an ATV back in 2008. Went through the handlebars, uh, paralyzed with shoulders down after that in 2008. So he died of complications from his spinal cord surgery earlier this week. So tough way to go,
Yeah.
Roger Rogers. Also from basketball, one last one I do want to bring up. Do you remember Kevin Mackey, former coach of Cleveland State? Brought
No.
Cleveland State was the first 14 seed ever to make the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament, eventually losing to Bob Knight's Indiana Hoosiers in the Sweet 16. But the money they used for the Sweet 16, the school used to build a new basketball arena that Cleveland State is still using to this day.
Okay.
But Kevin Mackey passed away at the age of 79. Yeah, just kind of a legend in coaching in northeastern Ohio. So, all right. Stick with. I only have one. I have a lot of baseball folks, but I'm only going to do one for now. We'll talk about everybody else another day.
Got
Randy Jones passed away. Two-time All-Star, the Cy Young Award winner in '76, also led in wins in '76, the NL ERA leader in '75. His number 35 has been retired by the Padres. He's a member of the Padres Hall of Fame. Overall, maybe the least accomplished person to win the Cy Young.
Yeah, he's on that. In the 70s, there were a lot of interesting winners of some of these major awards. I think there's another one well, Randy Jones, if I remember correctly, I think he had like 25 wins that year or something.
Yeah.
And that was back when they had put a far higher premium on wins. And I don't know if it was the year before, year after. I know the Cubs had, I think he's still a broadcaster there, or has he passed away? Steve Stone?
Steve Stone's still there.
Okay. So Steve Stone, he had.
Well, Steve Stone's with the White Sox.
White Sox. Okay. But I think with the Cubs, I could be mistaken, but he had, if you look on the back of his baseball card, all of a sudden he goes from like 10 wins, 10 wins, and then 25 wins, wins the Cy Young, and then just sort of goes back to.
Well, so he won 22 in 76, but he went 20 and 12 in 75 with a 2.24 ERA and was second in ERA, second in wins, and second in WAR, losing all three of those to Tom Seaver, who, of course, Seaver finished second to Jones in the Hall of Fame. But Jones, yeah, Seaver never won a Cy Young.
Wait, Tom Seaver never won a Cy
No,
Young?
I'm sorry. Finished first. I screwed that up. I misread what I was just looking at. My bad. Um,
I was gonna say that can't be right.
yeah, that was 75. 76, I misread.
Okay.
76, he went 22 and 14.
Hmm.
Won 2.74 ERA. But he won 22 games on a team that won 73 for the season. So he
Hmm.
won 30% of the team's games. So yeah, he won the NL Pitcher of the Year, all the other stuff. By the way, he started the All-Star game this year. Who do you think he pitched against on the American League side?
Randy Jones.
Mark Fidrich, the bird.
I just watched something on him. I've been on a Jeff Pearlman's press box
Oh
YouTube,
yeah, yeah.
and he was doing a bit on that. I just learned like one of those guys I remember of that era. I know I'm going off a tangent here, but I always wondered why Dave Kingman, who's basically that generation's Kyle Schwarber, had a year where he had like 37 home runs, still in his late 30s, but then never played again. I did not realize or did not know what big a-hole he was. I had no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's yeah, but that was pretty much what the whole thing that Perlman was saying. Just like 20 minutes of just this guy is the worst guy on planet Earth. Like,
Does he know Aubrey Huff exists? Um,
yeah, there's that.
but anyway, so Randy Jones passed away, like I said, age of 75. Career 100 wins, 123 losses, but he played on some absolutely
God
terrible.
teams, yeah.
Yeah,
Including that 76 team.
including that 76 team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he died essentially from throat cancer
Mm.
caused by chewing tobacco for the years that he used it. So,
Yeah.
that's just going to leave me with football. Start with Marshawn Nealand, who died under circumstances. The player for the Cowboys who scores a touchdown in Monday Night Football is out, gets chased by police because he's driving erratically,
Yeah.
crashes, pulls over, and shoots himself.
Uh,
I don't know what else to say, but
no.
what what a terrible way to go out. So
But I
Nealand was
never will. We never know what else more to say on that.
yeah, Nealand was 24. Uh,
Did he was his brain donated to the
I have absolutely no idea.
yeah, okay.
Who knows? I mean, depending where he shot himself, who knows? Um,
Yeah.
George Atkinson, member of the Super Bowl 11 champion Oakland Raiders, the co-defensive rookie of the year in 1916 to 8 in the AFL, two-time AFL All-Star, second team All AFL. He passed away at the age of um, 78. Um, yeah, he had a heart issue while driving at one point and crashed into a pedestrian towards the end of his life. But yeah, he donated his brain. His brain is being donated for CTE. So
Mm.
saying that he had been suffering from stuff from that. But he had 30 interceptions in his career, 3 return touchdowns, 4 defensive touchdowns, 3,100 return yards. Very good player, George Atkinson. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
uh, another player, probably better known for his time as an announcer than a player, even though he did play 9 years for the Cincinnati Bengals. Former tight end Bob Trumpy passed away at the age of 80. First team All AFL in 69, two-time Pro Bowler, two-time AFL All-Star. Remember the Bengals' 50th anniversary team, just under 300 receptions and 35 touchdowns in his career. But I'd say he got better known for his broadcasting career.
Yeah.
Called 4 Super Bowls, 4 Pro Bowls, 6 Hall of Fame games, Ryder Cups, 3 Olympics. Um, yeah, just involved in Bob Trump was just one of those guys who's just always on TV as a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
for sure. And an icon in Southern Ohio for sure.
Absolutely. And won the 2014 Pete Rozelle Radio Television Award, which Pro Football Hall of Fame gives for a lifetime achievement in NFL broadcasting.
Yep.
But he passed away at the age of 80. I'll get to him in a second. Former wife of Art Davis, Carol Davis, passed away at the age of 93. So she inherited the team from her husband when he died back in 2011. Um, so the memorial torch was lit in her honor in Vegas by her son 2 days after her death. So Carol Davis was 93 years old. Also passing away, former owner Charles Bidwell Jr. Passed away at the age of 97. Co-owned the Chicago/St. Louis Cardinals with his brother Bill Bidwell from 62 to 72, before he ended up getting more involved with horse racing. So he sold his share of the Cardinals for $6,500,000 in 1972 to his brother. But he passed away at the age of 97.
Probably had more fun with the horses.
I'd imagine he probably did. And then the last two people we'll talk about. We've only lost 3 Pro Football Hall of Famers this year. We lost Mongo earlier in the year. Within fairly quick succession, we lost former Commissioner Paul Tagliabue. Passed away at the age of 84. He was in office as commissioner from 89 to 2006. Took over for Rozelle, was succeeded by Goodell. I'd say a perfectly capable commissioner. I'd say not as charismatic as Rozelle. I think a good deal more honest than Goodell.
Perfectly capable. It seems like a low bar, but it really isn't for a commissioner, is it?
Yeah.
Jackie Engelhardt, I'm looking at you.
Yeah. There are some things that he did do. Like he took a stand against the state of Arizona. Arizona did not vote for Martin Luther King holiday. And so he pulled the Super Bowl from there.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah. He also was in charge of, getting the Saints back together after the 2005 season of Hurricane Katrina. Because Tom Benson was going to move the team to San Antonio.
People forget that.
Yep.
He was looking to do that before. Like I can argue that hurricane probably saved the Saints from moving, because he was looking to do that well before. And then it's like, well, you can't really do that now. How would that look? So it seemed to work out all right for the city of New Orleans.
It did. I do want to say, though, one place where he was lacking was that CTE issue.
Well, yeah, like a lot of them, it's bury your head in the sand and hope that it's going to go away.
Yeah, but he passed away from heart failure and complications from Parkinson's at the age of 85.
84? Oh, 85. Okay.
84. He was almost 85.
Okay.
So he passed away his birthday actually would have been 2 days ago. So, and then lastly, the one that hurt me the most, I think, of all the folks who passed away, Kenny Easley passed away at just the age of 66. The enforcer really was a beneficiary of the move away from needing longevity in order to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Terrell Davis's election made it possible for, I'd say, Easley and Sterling Sharp are both direct beneficiaries of that. Easley was Defensive Player of the Year in 1984. He only had a 7-year career, played 81 through 87, but 4-time first-team All-Pro and 1-time second-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, led the NFL in interceptions, member of the rookie team, member of the NFL's All-80 Decade team. His 45 is retired by the Seahawks. He's a member of the Seahawks Ring of Honor. And he is a pro and college football Hall of Famer. Just one of the most vicious hitters in the history of pro football.
Yeah, I remember when that happened, when he got in, because I don't think a lot of people saw him coming as a Hall of Famer, let alone a finalist at that point in time. And I think players like Easley and just maturing as a football fan, or how I'm sort of like changing a lot of my own positions, right or wrong. I had a nice little fun debate with somebody online today and kind of disagreed with that, which is fine. People can do that when not calling me an idiot. That's okay. Or call me an idiot. Just be a nice idiot. But I think when you've got a player who is that dominant for 5 years, I'd rather have 5 years of a guy at a 9 or 10 level than 10 years of a guy who's really good or at a 7.5. I'm going to get a lot more out of that.
Give me Kenny Easley over Clay Matthews Jr. every single time.
Absolutely. And there's a reason why players who we have mad respect for, a Jim Marshall, is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Actually, the person I was having this fun debate on was Frank Gore. And I said, I'm blown away by the fact that Frank Gore was 15 yards away from 20,000 all-purpose yards for a guy who wasn't a returner. That blows my mind. But I'm sorry he was never a top 5 guy. And then this individual respectfully disagreed with me, which is fine. And he was going back and forth with some quotes from some other peers. Like, okay, this is the stuff I love to hear. Like, give me some information I don't know. But regardless, we've seen that. And Terrell Davis, I'm glad you brought that name up.
Well, he and Davis are in the same class. I forgot that, but same idea.
But yeah, exactly. But it's the same type of idea. Like when you've got somebody that dominant at any non-special teams position, I can do so much with that. And when we look at those Seahawks teams of the 80s, you have Steve Largent making Dave Craig better than he was. And correct me if I'm wrong, did Seattle not make their first AFC championship game with Kenny Easley?
I'll have to double check.
I know they made the playoffs a few times. They were putting up some really good squads. And they were still a very, very new team. Well, sort of like us, easily surpassing, because I think they came in the same time as Tampa. And Tampa was a joke for
83 playoffs. They made the AFC Championship where they lost to the Raiders.
Okay, yeah. So when they were in the AFC, and that was their big rival, the Raiders.
They lost 30-14.
But yeah, that's a huge reason why they even got there. Because you look at the rest of that squad, do we really have anybody who was that much of a standout? There wasn't. So no, I'm very obviously I'm very sad, and especially now living in Seattle, you learn a lot more about that. That sort of hit the city, pretty hard. But yeah, Easley was a deserving Hall of Famer, and yeah, I agree with everything you just said. It sort of changed the way that I think of Hall of Famers.
In that game, Dave Craig went 3 for 9 for 12 yards with 3 interceptions. And then Jim Zorn came in, went 14 for 27 for 134 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. They threw 5 interceptions in that game. Craig was also sacked 3 times for 21 yards. So he had 12 dropbacks, 3 completions, 3 incompletions, 3 interceptions, 3 sacks.
Jim Zorn. This might be the only time his name is ever uttered on the show.
Yeah, so I'm looking at that defense. So the starters on that team that day, Dave Craig at quarterback, Kurt Warner, not that Kurt Warner.
Yeah, I remember Kurt Warner very well.
Running back.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that Kurt Warner from Tecmo Bowl. Cullen Bryant at fullback, Steve Largent at wide receiver, Charlie Young and Pete Metzelaars at tight end. I forgot about Pete Metzelaars. Ron Essink at left tackle, Edwin Bailey at left guard, Belair Bush at center, Robert Pratt right guard, Steve August right tackle. Defense, Jacob Green at left defensive end, Jeff Bryant at right defensive end with Joe Nash in the middle. Left outside linebacker, Bruce Shantz. Right outside linebacker, Greg Gaines. Inside linebackers, Joe Norman and Keith Butler. Cornerbacks, Kerry Justin. Dave Brown is a pretty good player. Free safety, John Harris. And strong safety, Kenny Easley. Let's be honest. Dave Brown is a pretty good player. Largent's a Hall of Famer. Pete Metzelaars is good for a long time. Kurt Warner's pretty good. Dave Craig was around forever. But that's not exactly a world-beating team that we're looking at right there.
No. And then, like you said, Craig was not particularly good that game. Well, Craig was just around for a long, long time. And when you got a weapon like that, you're going to weapon A why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. By the
Yeah.
way, the Raiders, Jim Plunkett, Marcus Allen, Todd Christensen, uh, just thinking of Cliff Branch, Lyle Elzaldo, Howie Long, Ted Hendricks, Matt Millen, Lester Hayes, and Mike Haynes on that team. Just looking quickly.
And you got Lester Hayes.
Which team had more talent?
Don't even start on Lester Hayes not being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I know. But I mean, the rest of that team, I mean, Matt Millen, not a Hall of Famer, but a hell of a player. Ted Hendricks, Hall of Famer. Lyle Elzaldo destroyed his career with steroids. But like Branch, like Christensen.
He started life with steroids. He pretty much made his career with steroids.
That is also true. Yeah, but Allen, Branch, Christensen, Long, Hendricks, Haynes, all Hall of Famers on that team.
I'm forgetting who was the Seahawks coach at that point?
Chuck Knox.
Okay, yeah.
It's Chuck Knox and Flores.
Yeah, I mean, no, I gotta give Knox credit when you're looking at what just to get there.
You know.
My God.
Yeah, but just no offense to those Seahawks players, but they also had Ray Guy on that team. Still, so yeah, that's a bit of a disparity in in quality here. So
yeah. Well, I guess that sort of brings everything to a close. One more reminder: United States Athletic Hall of Fame, www.theUSAHOF.com. Vote now. And if you're seeing this months after, that's okay, because by that point, year 4 will be up and that URL is still going to be active. We are recruiting some more people to be part of our special Blue Ribbon Committee.
I've recruited one so far who's officially, I won't say her name, but she is a NBA beat reporter who will be joining us. So
and I might have added another actual Pro Football Hall of Fame elector.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, because we already have 2.
Yeah,
technically 3.
Hey, not bad for 2 guys who don't get paid for this.
Yeah. We gotta figure out, maybe we should start like writing some shit off.
I have no idea. I think we'd actually need income in order to write something off. So
technically there's income. It's on some of the other stuff, but no, I got
not on my side. There isn't. We
well,
should talk.
I'm sorry.
I'm messing with you. I don't care.
Well, that's sort of why when we eventually sell all the stuff, then we're going to care.
Probably true. So,
well,
all right, man.
Yeah,
so we're going to see a lot. Everyone's going to see more of us over the next month. So we'll be recording right now. It is Wednesday night, the Wednesday for Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Or hope you had a happy Thanksgiving by the time this comes up. We'll be recording on Tuesday and then probably again on Wednesday.
And maybe a week after that for another baseball thing. We're going to be a lot more active.
Yeah. Well, that Wednesday though will probably be when we're recording the announcement.
Right, but I'm talking the Wednesday after that.
Yeah. Because
I want to do another baseball one that I was listening to you. Yeah. Because I want to have another roundtable. So just get some of the stat geeks out.
Absolutely. And then
I'm looking down on that. That's what I'm from. That's what.
And then at some point we'll probably do our annual semifinal and finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame that we do every year. So
well, yeah, we got to look at our good friend Jack Silverstein on that one, because he sort of took that one over, and he's harder to reach now because he's not a big fan of Mr. Musk and the new policy. I don't know.
So
I love you, Elon. Can you make me a public figure again? I don't know what I did wrong. I'm sorry. 3 months I was a public figure, Evan, and now I'm not. I don't know what I did.
Fame is fleeting, my friend. Fame is fleeting.
At least I treated everyone same on the way up as I did on the way down.
That is true.
It just goes to sort of show you. That's why I said.
There's a song by oh my God, Black Alicious about that. About treating people the same way up on his way down. This is a story about a kid whose name was Cisco. We made more money than the Count of Monte Cristo. Anyway. It's my
The second half of that movie, because he didn't have a whole lot that first half.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, man.
Wherever you are, wherever you may be, make today count because it never comes again. Take care, everyone.
Take care, guys.